we're FarmLab, changing the way we manage our soils. So I first understood the importance of soil health whilst I was in South Sudan, where I spent 6 months working for the United Nations. There, the soil is so fertile that most small landholders survive on the crops they grow in their backyards. Yet despite this, there's almost no agricultural industry. When I returned to Australia, I realised we are the complete opposite. Our agricultural industry is a larger contributor to GDP than mining, yet our soils are some of the oldest and most weathered in the world. Compared to North America and Europe, whose average topsoil is an age of 6,000 to 10,000 years old, ours is an average of 60 to 100,000 years old. And this makes farming challenging, to say the least. With old soils, we have to apply more fertiliser. And in order to understand how much fertiliser to apply, what and where to apply it, our farmers have to conduct soil testing. The challenge is that not everyone tests their soils, and even those that do get it wrong, which is astounding given that can cost up to tens of thousands of dollars if we apply the wrong amount of fertiliser on our paddocks, or we don't get the yields we're after because we've misinterpreted those results. So at FarmLab, we're working on solving this problem. We're providing a mobile application that lets soil testers request a test. That test is then sent to a lab, analysed, and the results are returned through our platform. We then provide the tools to analyse and interpret those results. All of this means our customers spend less time in the paddock, less time in the office, and more time in the paddock where they're needed. Sorry, my slides are jumping ahead of me a little bit. So the other problem we're solving at the moment is soil testing data is spread across 4 or 5 of the major testing labs across Australia, as well as a couple of, a bunch of the agronomists and farmers who are working across the country. The issue here is that our research institutions don't have a single source of truth when it comes to soil data management. This means they struggle to develop better methods to cope with our poor soils, to farm our poor soils. So we solve this problem by collecting data across all of the major testing labs. What this means is that we can, for the first time ever, provide a single source of truth, a national real-time database when it comes to soil data and soil health that our research institutions can use to better manage our soils. If we can flick back 2 or 3 slides there, guys. Just stay there. I'll bung this out in 50 seconds. So there's about 500,000 soil tests conducted across Australia per year. Majority of those are conducted by 1,600 or so agronomists, who we see as our primary customer in the market. Our software is provided as software as a service, and so we charge these agronomists a monthly fee to use the platform. We do have one main competitor in this space, but whilst our competitor is focused on the interpretation of soil test results, we're focused on the end-to-end process, and we know that makes us a better value proposition for our customer. So over the past 12 months, we've been working with farmers and agronomists across regional New South Wales and Victoria, as well as a couple of the major soil testing labs to refine our product. We've also been talking to the University of Sydney about how our data can benefit their research. Thank you.
Thank you to FarmLab. All right, some questions from our judges, please.
So you charge per test?
So the avenue we're exploring right now is a SaaS model. So we're charging a monthly fee for the agronomist, but potentially later on down the track, we will look at charging a transactional per transaction fee.
So is your go-to-market model through the agronomist or direct to the farmer?
Through the agronomist right now. Yep. And that's because the majority of those 500,000 soil tests are conducted through the agronomist.
Okay, thanks.
And what's the impact? What's the benefit for the farmer? Is it less? Because like if the soil's terrible, is it just putting more fertilizer? Or is it like, pack up and go do something else?
Good question. Because we have such old soils, on average, we do apply more fertilizer or adopt alternative farming practices to cope. The tricky thing is it's in the interpretation of those soil results that's really important. So you're not going to be able to change soil by measuring it. This isn't quantum soil analysis. So we have to, but we will be able to change it by better understanding it and better applying the knowledge we do have around fertilizer use and farming methods. And so by aggregating that data on a national sort of scale, we can, for the first time ever, gain better insights into our soil, in particular the long-term soil health and the impact that our farming practices have on soil.
Hi. Great. And so there are obviously quite a lot of competition in the space, and there are people that provide the more, I would say, complete solution, measuring many different aspects, not just the fertilizer problem.
Yes.
How are you going to compete with those guys?
So right now we're focusing on software because despite the hype, there is no hardware that can completely measure soil health down to the micronutrient level. And when we talk micronutrients, we're talking mainly nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. There is some emerging technology that is looking at doing that, but when it comes to scale, it's very hard to market that piece of hardware to farmers over the next 5 years at least, and get wide adoption on that technology with the connectivity issues we're facing in ag and with just the current state of that technology. So the avenue we're taking right now is to solve the problem through better data capture, because the data's already out there. It's out there through the soil tests that are being conducted now. It's out there in the agronomists' Google Drive that they're currently using to manage their clients. We're just trying to capture it through and manage it through a system. It's not to say there won't be a better solution in the future, but we want to be poised to make use of that data before that better solution comes out. Because even if we had that better solution now, and we had that data coming, we would still be faced with the issues around the correct interpretation of our soil health and what to apply on it, as well as how we use that data properly.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
More questions?
Well, sorry, one last
Oh, yeah.
one. Yeah. Oh, we still have time. Once the farmer has gotten the soil sampling and knows how the soil is and has kind of, basically optimized the farm, why would he still use your product? So isn't this
yes.
more of a one-shot thing than a SaaS?
Good
type
question.
model?
The answer is no. Soil changes every single season. It changes with the weather, it changes with after you grow a crop, you grow wheat, it sucks nitrogen out of the soil. And so you need to remeasure your soil to figure out how much nitrogen to put back into it. And there's always this ongoing, the more water that runs off a soil can potentially run off nutrients as well. So there's always this ongoing need. I think if it was up to the farmer, if we had the technology, we'd be measuring soil every single, week, but we don't. We've got old technology, so we do it on a yearly sort of seasonal basis.
Great, thank you very much. Please, round of applause for FarmLab.